Salam alaikum, salam alaikum, walaikum assalam, walaikum assalam. Let me stop, because I'm about to butcher this song, because I don't know what the hell Swiss Beats said after that. If anyone can, decipher the Arabic that Swiss Beats was saying, that Dabide, Babide, Dabibe, I think it was Hadibe, Adibe, Adibe. All I know is Salam alaikum, Salam alaikum, walaikum assalam, walaikum assalam, Dabide, Dabide, Dabide. I don't know what the hell that is. But it's crazy. I was listening to that song the other day because I love that song. Yo, French Montana, Swiss Beats, you did your thing on that. I ain't a fan of French Montana's joint, but he did his thing on that song and the other joint that he did with that. It was an Afrobeat type of beat behind it, and it had that kid. Why not? Anyway, at the end of the day, I was reminiscing on back in the days, how we used to, be out in the streets, spreading the knowledge. And it's crazy, in the 90s, everybody was out in the streets spreading the knowledge. You had the Moorish Science Temple, the Moors, you had the Hebrew Israelites. Some of these conscious groups are still existing today. I saw the Hebrew Israelites at Ramir Park about 2 weeks ago, located in Charlotte, North Carolina, right? I'm pretty sure that they still post up in Times Square. I'm pretty sure the Nubians still post up on 125th Street, as well as, who else post up on 125th? I think the Hebrew Israelites, But, back in the days, everybody was posted up in the streets, The Hebrew Israelites, the Nubians, the 5% Nation, the Rastafarians, or should I say, let me go back on the 5% Nation and say the Nation of Gods and Earths. You understand? Back in the 90s, a lot of the information was being spread. And I can honestly tell you that back in the days, Wu-Tang was for the kids. But nowadays, whether it's rappers or black leaders, or just overall our entertainers, are full of shit. And it's just that plain and simple. I don't hear anyone talk about the kids anymore. For real. Wu-Tang made that shit famous because they literally said that they were for the kids. Well, specifically ODB. He was there to feed the kids, feed the babies. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So for those that will sit back and say that, the 90s niggas, that generation led us astray. This is the reason why we got fucked up rap, and rap is fucked up the way it is now. That's far from the furthest truth. Because I'm here to tell you, if you listen to the 90s for a brief moment, just one MC, if you listen to their album, the average MC's album, I said MC, I didn't say rapper. The average MC's album was very diverse in content. And in the 90s, it was an unwritten law that it was mandatory for you to rap about, let me take it back, for you to exalt the black female and the children. I'm trying to understand in 2022 why I don't hear any dear mamas. I'm trying to understand that. I'm trying to understand in 2022, we chastised Kanye West when he got up there and spoke on the behalf, let me take it back, for the behalf of black folks when he said George Bush don't care about us. And ain't nobody backed his ass up. I'm not gonna say we, you all looked at him and said he was a fucking idiot. That he was on meds or some shit. And the reality of it is that from that point on, ever since then, Kanye West ain't been the same. And I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, well, nah, Langston. It was before that, when his mother died. I'll agree with you. But I'm telling you, after that incident with the whole Louisiana, he ain't never been the same since. For real. Just think about how much backlash he went through. You know how many times that motherfucker had to apologize on national TV? Apologize about some shit he said that was true. That plain and simple. Our entertainers, our celebrities, our rappers, our singers, our dancers, they are not cut from the same cloth. That the entertainers, rappers, the singers, and dancers were cut from in the 90s. Like I said before, and I'll say it again. We were all on the same level back in the 90s. It was for the babies. We knew that the future was for our children. I'm just trying to understand where down the line did that message get misconstrued, and now it's to the point where we're rapping, we're singing, and we shouldn't even call ourselves entertainers anymore. Why? Because we're being employed by the Alphabet Boys. Alphabet Boys is CIA, FBI. We're actually working for them. So now instead of raising the children, we're sending them to jail. Instead of the children, instead of us thinking about our children's future, we've already given up on them. And now our children have become our past. In other words, they don't even exist. And yo man, let me tell you something, man. When it comes to this information and just doing videos like this, man, I could do this shit in my sleep. Like, I'm light years ahead, man. Like, I get tired of talking like this, man. I really want to get in transhumanism, automation, and how that shit is relative and it links in, and how black people are gonna suffer the most when robots finally, in the near future, will 100% take over regular ass jobs. Regular ass jobs, like, cashier at CVS, a person that dumps the fries, a person that works at a grocery store that gets the carts or that stocks the shelves. Hell, look no further. They have a grocery store right now located in Seattle, Washington, that's manless. What I mean by manless is there's no one in the grocery store working inside that grocery store. You walk in, you use your app. As you're picking your items and putting them in a basket, there are cameras all around the grocery store that's taking pictures of the product that you're picking, that you're taking or paying for, as well as you, and it's digitally being scanned as you're taking them off the shelves. At the end, as you're walking out, there's a receipt that's sent to you through your email. The end. But of course, we don't know anything about that. Why? Because Wu-Tang, they old now. ODB is dead. Riz is making scores for movies. Method Man is working out. And on, I don't know, whatever that show is with 50 Cent. Everybody has their own individual lives that they have to live. And we shouldn't have to depend on Wu-Tang to raise our children. So what are we left with, is the question. What, you want Charlemagne the God to raise your children? You want Megan Thee Stallion to raise your children? You want Cardi B to raise your children? The same broad that said, I don't cook, I don't clean. You want her to raise your children? Straight up. I'm just trying to understand. Now, of course, this is a metaphor. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Wu-Tang was really for the children, but at the end of the day, it's a metaphor. You know, Wu-Tang is for the children, and, you know, nowadays, yo, our celebrities or people that we look up to, they're for themselves. Nobody's about the children. And this is the reason why we have our kids running around shooting and killing each other. Spinning around the block. Straight up. That's real fucking talk. Instead of spinning around the block, y'all should be getting sturdy. Y'all should be doing a sturdy challenge. That's what you should be doing. Instead of spinning around the block. But it's our fault as parents. That's what you're gonna say. You're gonna blame it on us, right? But I can tell you, our generation made great attempts to change the course that Black America is going. And we were met with resistance from our own race. See, y'all weren't there in the 90s with C. Dolores Tucker and Calvin D. Butts was steamrolling over rap CDs and shit. Y'all weren't there in the 90s, the 80s, the early 90s, late in the 80s and the early 90s where rappers were getting Grammys, and they wouldn't even allow rappers to walk on stage to get their award. Y'all weren't there in the 90s, and I'm about to pop all y'all bubbles, especially the motherfuckers endowed. I'm about to bust all y'all bubbles. Y'all weren't there in the 90s where we were wearing our hats to the back. But back then, when us black people that started this shit, were wearing our hats to the back, they threw us in jail because they labeled us as thugs for wearing our hats like this. But nowadays, when I go to the Dow, every damn day I go to the Dow, I don't see nothing but white people with their hats turned to the side or to the back like this. And to add insult to injury, wearing Muhammad Ali shirts that has his wrong name printed on the fucking shirt. So not only do you have Muhammad Ali on your t-shirt, a man that you despised. And I know it's the young kids that's doing that shit. It's the millennials. But let me tell you something. Your parents should have schooled you on who Muhammad Ali really was to the people. He was the people's champ because he fought for the people. And every time you wear a Cassius Clay shirt, you're disrespecting him and what he stood for. And the next question is, Caucasian, to all my Caucasian people, family, have you even done your research when it comes to Muhammad Ali, Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, and the list goes on? Because I'm not going to say behind, I'll say that each individual leader came with a movement. But I don't hear any of this knowledge being dropped in America anymore. The last time I heard seeds, you know, we for the kids, and we about our culture, and we love hip hop, and we love black people, and the black man is God, and all the rest of that shit was from Wu-Tang in the 90s. That's it. And I know y'all gonna shoot the shit and be on some shit like, well, you know, Joey Badass and this person, that person, and you know, Kendrick Lamar is a positive rapper, and fucking J. Cole and this and that, so forth. All those motherfuckers that you name, yeah, true indeed. They may mention this person or that, mention a person of this place or that, and this and that. So, no, Wu-Tang was a movement. Do you understand that? I remember I used to hustle bootleg movies and CDs in the hood. One summer, right? I had knocked on this person's door. I already knew the person. And the person was like, yo, he around the back, right? In the projects, right? So I had to go around the back, you know, in the back of the house, right? So I went around the back of the house, and no, they didn't see me. It was like, it had to be about 6 fucking niggas back there, right? This is in the mid-90s, right? So they're not seeing me. So as I'm coming around the corner, I'm hearing this. Nah, Cypher, God, listen, today's mathematics is this. And they had, y'all ain't hear me. Y'all not hear me. And that's real talk. They had the lessons out. That's how much of a movement Wu-Tang was on. Straight up. And let's just say, for the sake of the conversation, Wu-Tang ain't never did shit for no one's children. No one's children, right? But they're rightfully so. You're obligated to take care of your children. You're responsible for your children. Anyone else, it's an option. It's optional, right? At least they made some type of attempt. At least we were thought about in their conscience. Our entertainers these days, our leaders these days are fucking selfish as shit. And all they do is think about themselves. How much money they can make. And we as a people have to stop this fuckery before it even begins. Period. But I know we haven't learned our lessons. You want to know why? Because I till this day, I still don't understand how the fuck most of us have fell for Polite's bullshit, and especially Dr. Umar shit. I can't get y'all to donate $1 to me. But some odd reason, y'all fell for Dr. Umar's shit of him saying, oh, I'm gonna build a school for the last 10 fucking years. And he ain't produced shit. He took y'all to a fucking haunted house. That's where he took y'all. Period. And now it's to the point where I think it's Delaware or Philadelphia, one of the two, where he's not even allowed to accept donations anymore. And eventually he's going to jail too. Because you have to let people know. It's not your money, Dr. Umar. It's the people's money. You got to let people know what you're spending their money on. And it's obvious out of the videos that I've seen, you farting and burping, it's obvious you spending the people's money on food. So yeah, man, our kids are doomed. And that's real talk. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, you know, at the end of the day, we don't, music doesn't supposed to raise our kids and this and that, so forth, and blah, 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 and this, that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And functional family household, the parent's supposed to raise the children. But that is not the case in this day and time. And I'm telling you, the reason why the powers that be have attacked and weaponized hip-hop our culture and use it against us is because music is one and the same, vibrational. And there's a frequency in each song that people can tap into. And whatever that frequency is, whether it's, see, we getting on some next level shit. That's what I'm saying. I don't hear this shit anymore. Whether it's your lower chakra, I don't hear this type of shit anymore. Back in the days, Wu-Tang was for the kids. Nowadays, all these motherfuckers are full of